The answer is not always spend more.
No, the answer isn't always more leads.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes it's, I only need 5 more. But if you don't know an actual number, you're just shooting in the dark. You're just preying on hope. And it's not a winning strategy, guys.
And one thing I like to put a big asterisk on, because this is where it can get complicated. A lot of us are very, or have been in the past, very over-reliant on Facebook Meta ads.
Oh, yes.
Because shit just doesn't work at Meta like it used to.
Right.
It isn't. Women in their 40s, 50s, which tend to be like most of our demographics, like bread and butter a lot, they engage on that. I don't remember the statistic, but significantly more on Nextdoor than Facebook.
Ooh, nice.
Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple 6 figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Scott Carpenter, with co-host Andy Boymilla. And this episode is literally for every single person listening, okay? Yes. We all have said, I don't have enough leads. I just need more leads.
Yes.
At some point in time, probably at every point in time, that seems to be our bottleneck.
It does. We get it from so many different people, right? Like a lot of times we'll hop on calls with people and we say, what's one of your biggest problems? They're like, I don't have enough leads, which then raises a lot more questions, which is what we wanted to talk about today. I mean, you and I were literally just even talking before we even began recording, which we should be better about. But, you know, the whole goal of this podcast today was for those of you guys listening on the podcast or watching on YouTube or whatever, if you are sitting there right now saying, I don't have enough leads, I want to speak directly to you guys, right? The whole goal of this podcast is to identify that issue, talk more about it, and don't worry, we're always going to give you actionable items. At the very end, I'm going to go over a nice little kind of trick or hack that allows you to not only generate more leads, but one of the things a lot of people lack, which is exposure. And we'll get into that towards the end of the podcast. But when we talk about not enough leads, right? And I'm sure, Scott, like you've literally probably hopped on calls with people, right? Or even felt this yourself when you're like, what is your biggest problem? And someone goes, or even yourself goes, I don't have enough leads.
Yeah.
Right? What's one of the first things that we should then be asking?
It's really is what is enough?
Exactly. Like how many do you actually need?
That should be a simple question.
It should be, but it's not always.
But it's not always. And you think it would be, but most people can't just name, I need X, and then I'll get to exactly where I need to be.
Right.
This is this ethereal thing. I need more leads.
Yep.
And yeah, it really depends on a lot. And quite often, everybody comes in thinking that's their sole problem.
And it might be their problem. It might honestly be their problem.
Probably it is to some extent. Sometimes you need to build a more winnable model. You are a more winnable model because you're charging too little, or you need too high volume in your area.
Right. Or maybe you need a better retention system because you've got a leaky bucket and it doesn't matter how much you fill it with water, it's going to leak. But sometimes, regardless.
Once you fix that though, right? And you have a winnable model, right? You have higher ticket programs, you've got reasonably priced, low, mid, high, all that kind of stuff. And your fulfillment is good. Yep. You don't have a churn problem. Your culture's good and all those things. At some point, it will come down. You're right. Your gut that you're like fighting on this. No, it's right. You do need more leads.
Right. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that is consistent within the gym industry is people leave. And if people always leave, then we always need new people. So yes, leads will always be an issue. It may not be the biggest issue. It might be, but it will always be an issue. Mm-hmm. But when we start to go down this road, right, and we start to acknowledge that the leads are the issue, whether it's the biggest issue or just an undergoing issue, we have to start asking deeper, more meaningful questions, because sitting here going, I just need more leads, is simply just hoping and praying that leads will show up at the door.
Yeah, that's using hope as a strategy.
Right, which
And
never works.
quite often when we don't need as a lot of times we don't need as much as we think if we
Probably,
are
yeah.
doing the right math.
Exactly.
And we're doing the right things in our business. But the main thing is we need a number to go after quite often, right?
We do.
And again, we'll have to delineate between a lead and a prospect and a consult, all those things.
And we can. And by the way, for those of you guys listening, a real quick way, because the team and I were just talking about this to make sure that we understood what that classifies as. We have classified, and what we're going to talk about, in future courses and all that kind of stuff, the delineation between marketing and sales, which is where the lead nurture process happens, is the minute you have an ability to contact somebody, they become a lead. The minute you have, you can contact them on Facebook, the minute you can email them, text them, literally tap them on the shoulder, right? That classifies them as a lead. And so when we talk about we need more leads, well, how do we get more leads? Well, again, the first question we ask is, how many do you actually need?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Absolutely.
that goes into deeper questions, right? Because there's no one answer for that. Your answer, Scott, for your gyms is definitely different than my answer. We have different models.
Yes.
Even if we had the same model and we lived in different demographics, then our number might be different. And furthermore, it also depends on our goal, right? Like, what is our goal? Like, is our goal to get 5 net clients in a month? Or is it 10 new clients? Or is it 1? That all depends. And that's all what helps delineate and kind of define the number that we actually need to aim for.
Yeah. You need a target. You're not, if any of you have done any kind of like archery or even shooting, anything like that, it's like aim big, miss big, aim small, miss small. Right. And what that means, like if you're doing archery, you've got this circle target, right? And you vaguely aim for the center of that target when you first start out, if you don't know what you're doing, right? And as you learn, it's like, no, don't aim for the center of that big circle. Aim for the center of that little one right in the center, the red bullseye.
Yep.
And you watch your accuracy, your performance will get way better. You will miss by smaller increments. Not that you're not looking at the center, but it's a weird thing. And it's the same thing with your business. If we run a pro forma and we look at your average client value, what the average client represents in revenue per month, right? Yep. We know what your churn rate is. We know where your current clients are, and we can fill in the blanks to see if you gained this many a month and lost this many a month, according to your numbers, where you would be in 3, 6, 9, 12, 24, 36 months. So, and not just on the revenue side, but the expense side, your labor, depending on your model, might grow with it, or it might stay the same, right?
It might.
And then how does that affect your profit? Because that's where you have to start. How much money do I need this to be making me, right? And then reverse engineer everything. And of course, your prices fall into this. But if we can build this pro forma model where we can see if I charge this, if I'm able to acquire 6 a month versus 7 versus 9 a month, versus if my churn is at 4% versus is at 8%, we can see how this will play out. And we can see how many months it's going to take to get to your goal. And when you break down those numbers, you're like, oh, I only need to sit. It might be I only need to sit with 9 people a month to be able to profit $200,000. It might be that. It might be double. It all depends, right? It all depends on how it fits together. But when we can take this elusive, I need more leads, and break down, no, I need to get this many a month. And that becomes your mission.
Yep.
And then we can drive your key actions to make sure that mission is accomplished. You are far more likely to succeed.
100%.
Far more likely to succeed. So like aim big, miss big. That's what a lot of us are really good at without knowing it.
And that is, I just need more leads. That's aiming big, right? It's aiming broad. But when we start narrowing it down and we say, no, I actually need 20 leads next month, that drastically changes not only your perception and your perspective of how you go about doing business.
Yes.
Right. But it gives you so much more clarity and focus, because now you can say, okay, cool. Like if I need 20 leads and I generate on average 15 leads, what do I need to do to generate an additional 5 leads next month?
That's exactly it. Like you might already be at 15. You establish, if I just get 5 more, right, then I can get 2 more people across the line, or 3 or whatever. These are just sample numbers, guys. Fill in the blank for you. Most of us don't know that. But it's just like, oh, I just need to talk to 5 more people a month. I could literally do that while running errands sometimes. Like, it's crazy. You know, I can do that by arranging one public appearance at a local restaurant, or one thing, or when we know where we need to be and break it down, then we're like, oh, that's actually not difficult. And then we actually follow through and do the thing.
Right. And so you're dropping a lot of numbers, and we've already said that these numbers are just examples because everybody's is different. But in order to figure out these numbers, there are some things that you need to know, right? Like you need to know what your churn rate is, because if your goal is a certain amount of net clients, then you need to know on average per each month of the year. I would even go down into being that granular. You can then guess how many people are going to leave in that month on average. And then you can say, okay, cool. If I need a certain amount of net, let's say, for instance, I want to net 5 new clients in a month, right? But I also know that in that same month, I typically lose 5 clients. Well, then how many new clients do I actually need? I need 10. Now it's like, okay, so if I need to sign up 10 new clients, how do I reverse engineer this even more to figure out exactly how many leads I need? Well, we look at your lead to client conversion, right? On average, throughout each month, how many times are you having a lead convert to an actual paying member, right? Whether that's a package or a membership, whatever your business model defines that as, and we can reverse engineer it, right? If I need 10 new clients and my conversion rate is 50%, then I need 20 leads, right? Because I convert 50% of my 20 into paying clients, then I need 20 leads. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we've actually identified a target number. And then we go, okay, well, if I need 20 leads, what's my average lead per month? Well, again, if it's 15, now what I need to do is keep doing what I've been doing. Don't change anything that you're currently doing. We just might need to do more in order to find those extra 5 that we are missing. And all of a sudden now we've gone from I need more leads to, well, I need to implement a new marketing tactic to get 5 new leads so that I can close 50% of them into 10 new clients and still expect to lose 5 and net 5 out of it.
Yeah.
That is a much more smaller target to aim for than I need more leads.
Yeah. And one thing I like to put a big asterisk on, because this is where it can get complicated, right? A lot of us are or have been in the past, very over-reliant on Facebook Meta ads.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I do like to delineate between paid ads and ads that come in, let's call it just organically, to put it in 2 buckets, right? You have your paid, you have your organic. Yes. Because that will skew the numbers.
100%.
By a huge amount. So, you know, the tools that we have built to track these different things really easily, we do delineate between paid and organic.
Yes.
Because I will take 20 natural organic web leads, okay, coming in through the website, whether somebody has, you know, gone to the Google My Business or the website or whatever, however they did, that naturally come in organically. I will take 20 of those over 200 Facebook leads.
Yes.
Any day, any month of the year.
Yep. 100%.
Period. Because they are 5 to 10 more times more likely to close and be one of your highest paying customers. Period.
Right. Organic marketing is 100% more reliable. It can be more steady. And this is one of the things that we actually really, really advocate for when we work with clients, is always having an organic marketing strategy and plan in place first before you even start talking about Facebook ads, right? Like we have a whole checklist and a diagnostic that says, hey, are you doing A, B, C, D, all the way through Z? And if you're not doing one of the, at least even one of those things, it's like, we need to do that first before we start doing Facebook and Meta ads.
Yeah.
Because again, all they're going to do is inflate numbers actually almost artificially, right? It's really how it looks.
Yeah. I went from 1 to, I believe, 5 locations. I think I'd have to look back, maybe 4. I don't know, 4 or 5 locations without running a single Facebook ad.
Yeah.
Period. And man, I just hopped off with a buddy of mine yesterday on a call who is running a low barrier entry, not just the ads. He's got the whole system, but it's a low barrier challenge into, right, a membership, very low barrier. So you should be dealing with more volume and a lot more people and getting a lot more through. And he knows what he's doing. He's super experienced. In the past, he's owned 7 gyms, and he took, I believe it was 38 gyms through it, and maybe it was more. It was more that signed up. I don't know how many people actually did it. Okay. But the amount of trials that came through on these low barrier offers for, I believe it was 38 gyms. When he ran this last in his, let's say, I don't know when it was, maybe 2-3 years ago, he got more in his 7 gyms than the other 38 combined, because shit just doesn't work at Meta like it used to.
Right.
It isn't. You cannot be overly reliant on it. And so the main thing to know is, yes, you've got to do the organic marketing stuff. It is, if you skip all that and an algorithm change happens, or a war starts, or there's a political change, which we've been having all over the damn place.
There's been a bit of turmoil.
There's been a bit, right? Or people get nervous about the economy or this, that, like, and Facebook ads stop working, you're dead in the water, period. Yes. Right? You can fan a fire with it, but you can't start a fire with it. Right?
No, absolutely not. And
so we do like to delineate between those, because if we're purely talking Meta leads, you're going to need a shit ton.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
And there are ways to get a shit ton of Meta leads without spending a ton of money, but that's a whole nother topic for another podcast. But for those of you guys that are listening, first of all, if at any point in time you're sitting there going, and it's like that meme where Alan from The Hangover has all the numbers going behind his head as he's trying to calculate how to count cards. Right. I love that meme, because sometimes I feel like when I talk like this and I talk about numbers, that's how a lot of people look. They have that blank stare where they're like, you lost me, man. I have no idea what to do. First of all, just reach out to us, right? Shoot me an email, find me on Instagram, shoot me a message and be like, hey, can we sit down and talk about and figure out how many leads I actually need? I'd love to help. But outside of that, a nice little trick for those of you guys that are like, no, I just need a couple more leads. One thing that a lot of people don't do, and this is an organic marketing tactic, is local events. Think about this real quick. Most of us are brick and mortar gym owners inside of smaller communities, right? We don't typically live in metro areas. We live in the kind of suburbs or just outside the metro areas. You don't need 2,000 people to see you. You just need your town to know who you are. You need to be hyper local, which means you don't really need Facebook and Meta ads. You just need more exposure. And one way to do that is to do local events. They are exactly what they sound like. It's doing events in your local community that get you out in front of people that may never see you. Mm-hmm. So some things are like pop-up workouts. So we hosted a few over the summer. We have a farmer's market that does a farmer's market every single Sunday. We reached out to them. We said, hey, we would love to do some pop-up workouts during the farmer's markets on Sundays. We did 3 of them. Actually, we did 2. One of them got canceled. We got about 8 to 10 leads on each one. Not only that, but we've actually had people reach out to us and say, hey, can I come in and do your front end offer? Because I saw you guys working out at the farmer's market. They didn't even sign up for one of the pop-up work. They just saw us. Talk about exposure, right? Right. That's what I'm talking about. Things like even just hosting open houses, right? Literally just open your doors and say, hey, everyone, we'd like to invite you in so you can check out our gym, our studio, our space, whatever you call it, right? Ask us a few questions. We're here to help be experts. You could offer up a free in-body scan if you happen to have one of those on premise, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right. You can take it a step further and do community workouts. We do these once a quarter. We blast it out on, local Facebook groups and our social media. And we say, hey, anybody would like to sign up and come in for a free workout? Come just try us, come hang out. It's also a great opportunity for our members to bring in friends and family members that might be a little hesitant. You can take that a step further and do a bring a friend day or bring a friend week. It's basically same idea, right? We're just opening our doors for a free workout or week or whatever it may be to get more people in. One of the things I love doing is we have a local coffee shop here in town being a small business owner, them being small business owners, I've connected with the owners. And once in a while, I've done coffee with a coach. So think of it as like open office hours, right? I'm a fitness professional. Plenty of people have fitness questions or health questions or nutrition questions. I will literally post up inside of the coffee shop. I will just sip coffee all morning long, and I'll post it on social media and be like, hey, I'm going to go sit at this coffee shop from these hours to this hour. If anybody would like to come and chat about fitness, health, and nutrition, I'm here. And I just open it up. It's a great marketing ploy, not only for us, but also for the coffee shop that I'm sitting at, because it brings them in new business as well. Talk about a win-win.
Yeah, you tag them, it goes on their stuff, right? They're happy to post that. They're happy to share that, all that kind of stuff. Next door. So somebody who co-owns and operates one of my locations, Becky just put out there that she started to do some stuff on Nextdoor, and it's getting some great traction. Women in their 40s, 50s, which tend to be like most of our demographics, like bread and butter a lot, they engage on that. I don't remember the statistic, but significantly more on Nextdoor than Facebook.
Oh, nice.
I got to look at. I haven't. I was listening to a talk, and I had that written down somewhere. But Nextdoor, if you go on there, half of it's people bitching about their neighbors.
Of course.
Right? Maybe 20% is like, what's that noise? Was that a gunshot? Right? It's like, no, it was your paint cans. Your neighbor's paint can fell off the garage shelf.
Right.
And then the others are just really sharing referrals and stuff.
Nice.
Hey, I'm looking for, I got to get my hot water heater changed. Who's got a good plumber?
Mm-hmm.
I blah, 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 right? It's mostly that. It's sharing local businesses. You can get a profile for free and claim it for free. You can interact on there for free. You can ask to be a recommended business in your community for free. You can get a ranking, like you get more little, I don't know what they call them, upvotes or recommendations. Mm-hmm. So bottom line too, is if one of your clients, if you make a push in your gym about this and they hit the thing where they recommend your business, you probably only need a handful to stand out. And the thing is like it sends a notification out to other people that you've recommended this.
Ah, there you go. Nice.
So think your clients, all of a sudden all their neighbors are going to see that you've recommended going there.
Yep.
Doesn't cost you anything. That's pretty cool.
That is, I was not aware of that one. I've heard of it, but I didn't know too much about it. So that's super awesome. And I'm going to go explore that for my gym.
Yeah.
Once we hop off this call. Yeah.
It's pretty neat. There's just so many things that you can do. You can take a referral and turn it into a value add. You know, like when we ask for a referral, sometimes we feel bad. We're making a relationship withdrawal, right? We're asking them. But at the end of the day, you can kind of flip the script and just remind them, hey, as part of your membership here, right? You're part of our family and your family is our family. And we do whatever you want to say as an additional perk of your membership. We offer this, right? And it can be a call and a getting started and do it yourself program for anybody in your life. They don't even have to be local. Because guys, you can do an online coaching business by accident if you do this. But you be clear, they don't pay you any money. They don't even have to come in the door. You provide these services for them, right? And it could be like a 30, 45-minute call where you can build a program for them to do on their own. Now, if they're local, more than likely, you'll get them in here for whatever you want to do, a session a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. But make it clear that even if it's your sister who lives in Nebraska, you will do this. And you can position a referral as an additional perk of your membership instead of you making an ask, right? You have infinite possibilities on the organic marketing side. But like Andy was mentioning, if you know how many people you need every month to get your business to a certain point, whether you're growing it or just maintaining it, it's 7, it's 12 people a month. You can reverse engineer that math. Andy can help. Andy at theprofitlifestyle.com will help you reverse engineer that. Mm-hmm. And then you'll realize it's not as big as you think. The delta is not as big as you think, right? And the reason we like to separate the organic and the paid too is because if you're paying money for leads, we want to make sure that I don't care how cheap your cost per lead is. That's irrelevant. Right. It has some relevance in ad performance, but not everything. I will pay, it's all about return on ad spend.
Exactly.
Forget the cost per lead. How many get across the line? Because you could get a $5 cost per lead, but if you're only getting 1 out of 100 through, does it really? No, it's about your cost per acquisition. You might be paying 4 times the amount for a lead, but it might be totally worth it.
Right. I'd be willing, right? If I bring on somebody, and this is, again, we're not going to get too deep into this because it could be a whole nother podcast. I'm willing to pay $200 per lead on Facebook if they sign up for even a $200 membership to start.
Yes.
Because at least then I break even.
Yes, absolutely. So CPL is way oversimplified, guys.
Yes.
It's, absolutely. And yeah. And again, the math on paid versus that, especially today, is different from your organic stuff. And everybody's going to be in a different situation. Some of you have the money to consistently spend, $50, $100 a day on ads, and you're getting a positive return on ad spend. Great. That's excellent. Right? That is also a full-time job to manage and handle that. Regardless of your automations, if you want that math to work for you, you are working for that shit. Mm-hmm. So don't think it's that cheap either. Somebody is doing the nurturing on that one. Somebody is doing the follow-up on that one. And that's a lot of work. And that's hard work. That's hard to offload. Other than the owner or somebody who really loves it, it's very hard to get somebody consistently perform well at that, period. Yeah. So the answer is not always spend more.
No. And the answer isn't always more leads.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes it's, I only need 5 more. But if you don't know an actual number, you're just shooting in the dark. You're just preying on hope. And it's not a winning strategy, guys.
Yeah. And so, guys, we could go on this for hours, the different strategies.
Of course.
But your unique strengths, your business model, your specific market, what kind of a market are you in? You're going to have unique advantages and disadvantages. There's really hard ways to get the amount of leads you need. And there's a lot easier ways. They're not the same for everybody. No. Depending on your skills, your talents, your positioning, your market, everything. So you need a really unique approach to this. I know marketers are just going to try and take your money and promise the world to you, right? It doesn't work out like that. We've all been burned that way. Mm-hmm. You need a strategy that plays to your strengths and makes it easier, not tougher. And it doesn't mean you need 100 more leads, right? Andy can help you figure that out. Andy can help you figure out what strategy is going to be best for you, your business, your market. And so that costs nothing either, guys.
Nope.
So Andy's more than willing to hop on a call and help you sort through that, right? Why do we do that? Because so many of the people that we do help in this capacity will want to continue working with us in some capacity.
Yeah.
And some just leave and say thank you and make some great progress. That's okay too. Like
at the end of the day,
be shy about this stuff.
No, we are here to help, right? And we know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and stuck in your business. And we don't want that for you guys anymore. So literally reach out, shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever. Say, hey, I need help with my leads, figuring shit out. Like, I will hop on a call. We'll figure it out. If you want help figuring out what the plan is after that, cool. If not, then hopefully you learned something out of our call. And that's all I can ask for.
Absolutely. So we'll leave it there. We could go on for hours about marketing, but
we could.
Appreciate you guys listening. GymProfitsSummit.com.
Yes.
We will leave that link in the show notes. We've got our event coming up this November 14th and 15th in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. Do not miss this. This is 2025. I think he's listening to this a year from now. We will probably have this annually. But gymprofitssummit.com. You can get on the wait list right now and get an early bird ticket. It will blow your mind. It's going to be way more value than it costs, which is, we're not making any money on this. We're hoping to cover costs on it, but it's going to be fantastic. Get your butt out here. I want to meet you in person. Andy wants to meet you in person.
Yes, I do.
It's going to be a great event. So get your tickets, limited to 120. They will be sold out. So don't wait on it. Just make it happen. Bring your spouse out. You can stay where you want to stay. If you want to get an Airbnb and make a vacation out of it, because it's a great time of year before the craziest of the holidays.
We're actually going to fly in a couple of days early and go do the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. See, that's how you do it, guys. Like, don't forget to live. You're operating a business. It's tough, but don't forget to live and do the things that you enjoy. Don't just live for your business. The business should support your lifestyle, not the other way around. So appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for listening. We will see you next week. Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.